On today's episode of Garage Talk, we actually don't know what we're going to talk about yet because, yeah, we are doing it first.
Yeah, normally we do it after the show after we know what we've talked about, but today is Erik's 40th birthday and it could be a rough one. So we're getting this out of the way now just in case. So hang with us right now. All right, welcome to an all new FR Racing's Garage Talk. I'm DJ Flook.
I'm Eric Richardson,
And yes, we recorded the cold open before because, as we mentioned on there, this is Erik's 40th birthday. He
and
is
we don't know where this is going to go.
We don't know where this is going to go, but number one, he is officially. We have started the trifecta of birthdays here. We've got you. In a couple weeks, we've got Kyle Busch, and then a couple weeks after that, we've got me. So the trifecta of greatness there. Okay, maybe not greatness, but we got the trifecta of the 40th birthdays coming up here soon. Do you share a birthday with any NASCAR drivers?
If I do, I actually don't know. I haven't looked actually.
We're gonna look. I'm pretty sure I have. There's one that I'm pretty sure I share a birthday with, and I will tell you. Yeah, I do. There's one NASCAR driver I share former NASCAR driver that I share a birthday with. Mildly obscure, but was around for quite a while, and it was none other than Ricky Craven.
That's cool.
Yep. So Ricky Craven. All right. So quick search of the birthdays. Uh,
If you see any random like excitement out of me, I actually have a hockey game going right now. I'm watching the
yeah.
Avalanche Stars playoffs. It's game three.
All right, so you got Chloe Kim, the American snowboarder. That's pretty cool. Uh, Dev Patel, the English actor. Who else?
And probably the most famous one is Shakespeare.
Oh, you Shakespeare. Yeah, I don't have a Shakespeare level on
Pretty sure
mine.
he was April 23.
Hey, you've got Cal Penn and former former hockey player Willie Mitchell. Oh, you got John Cena.
Hmm.
There you go. You got John Cena. There you go. Your birthday just instantly became cooler.
Yeah. Shakespeare was today as well.
There's one that's not so good that I'll tell you after we hit stop, but I'm not gonna say it.
Yep, I know that one.
Yeah, you got George Lopez.
There's a few people.
I do not see any NASCAR drivers though, unless we get into. I actually have another English driver who was actually born in the same year I was, and he did some Hervé Villechaize. You share with Hervé Villechaize. That's awesome. There was that Netflix movie, My Dinner with Hervé with Peter Dinklage a few years ago. Yeah,
I haven't seen.
yeah. I haven't seen it either, but the story of Hervé Villechaize is pretty wild. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna search for racing. Nope. Nope. It looks like you do not have a NASCAR driver on yours. Got a lot of actors though. All right, so you have
Good example.
officially.
We devolve really fast.
Well, I mean, this is the 40, this is the birthday spectacular, which features our good friend Jeppson's Malört.
Don't worry, I'm not almost empty. I have another bottle.
I might have, yeah, I'm not going. If I drink all of that, I'm in big trouble. Uh, I got something in the mail today actually that I'm excited about, and I didn't buy this back then, but I found one on eBay that's still in really good condition and is the program from the 1998 Indianapolis 500.
Hmm.
And it was only $10 back then. Oh, it's really cool. If I can find it. Yeah, there's actually an order form for merchandise where you can actually like write in on the back like the it's so old. You have to write in like the product number and your size and then mail it in and then they'll mail you your what you want. So your internet shopping was a thing back then. It just wasn't what it is today. But what's cool about this one is it had stickers in it.
Same thing in mine from the Brickyard, which
Yeah,
was also the 98.
98. So it has, look, it has stickers in the back. It's got the Pep Boys Indy Racing League. We won't talk about that.
I wish they'd go back to the fun, unique year-to-year logos. It's kind of the
That was,
same like shield type logo every year now.
yeah, I mean, I guess it makes
Some
sense.
were good, some needed to go away.
But yeah, I was flipping through and I'm looking and seeing some of the names of like, oh, who is that? Who is that? And then you have like John Paul Jr., ended up becoming a drug trafficker and went to jail for it. Uh, but a rookie driver in the 1998 Indy 500 was JJ Yeley. And I didn't realize that honestly, like JJ Yeley is going to turn 50 next year. And I knew he was older, but I did not know he was almost 50.
It's funny. Sometimes people surprise you like, wait, you're that old or you're only that old?
Yeah, it's like, wow, I could have sworn you were like maybe 40, 42, but no,
It's funny.
he's,
Joey Logano's like that. It's like, I
well,
feel like I've seen him forever.
well,
To,
he's been
yeah,
around forever. And then he like went bald at like 28. That didn't help things. And then he went and did his hair club or whatever that he's has as a sponsor now to restore that hairline. So it's good recovery on his part.
but he started young and been racing since.
See, the thing is, like, I still like pushing 40 now. I still have the all the hair, which is good, but it's like it's turning gray like way too fast. I'm like, no. And I've admitted this before. I do use hair dye because I'm like, I cannot be in my late 30s with gray hair. Like, I'm not doing that. So I do use hair dye. And if I'm drawing a blank on the name, so this isn't a good sponsor pitch, but if you want to sponsor me, I have no problem putting hair dye on one of my vehicles sponsoring it because
The
I'm not
Just
ashamed.
for Men
Yeah,
truck.
it's not just for men, but it's some other company that unfortunately drawing a blank to right now. So I'm blowing my chance right here, I guess. Do we want to do Malort now? Get it over with, or at least get round one over with.
Yeah, sure, why
All
not?
right.
You got your milk bottle?
Got my Indy 500 milk bottle.
Me too.
We'll talk about that shenanigans
Did I
later
grab the
today.
wrong one though? This one seems a little big.
Don't drink from that. No, don't fill that one.
It was actually a commemorative one I got when I randomly went to a Kroger in by the Speedway last year, and
That's really cool. I'm jealous of that.
they were like, "You want one?" Sure.
I am
Could have gotten some stuff
oh
engraved on it, but it's like I
I
don't
mean,
know.
shoot. Oh, I swore. Yeah. See, I don't like we don't
Is
typically
that an
swear.
FAA violation?
No, no, yes, FA, FCC. Got one of the letters right.
Yeah,
No, I like overfilled this.
the way things are going at this point, I mean, who knows?
I'll put the rest of that in another shot glass for maybe for later. Otherwise, if I'm not, um, jeez. Yeah. So I don't like we typically don't swear on the show, and it's not because we don't have anything against swearing. It's just I mean in its right form, it's fine. And I've actually sworn quite a few times today, but that's not to discuss here. Uh, so got some Malort. Do you have the correct size milk jug now?
Couldn't find my milk jug, but I
Oh,
got my
whatever.
Cancun shot glass.
Yeah, because Malort, Cancun,
They go hand in hand.
hand in hand. All right, so to year 40, cheers.
You're here.
I almost did like a butt head laugh there. Oh man.
The last time I went to Chicago, I didn't have a chance to go somewhere and ask for a shot of Malort. I'll be going back here kind of into June. I really want to go into a bar and be like, I've heard stuff about this Malört or something. Can can I have a shot of that?
Can I get
I
some of
just want
this?
to.
What's it? Malört? Yeah. Um, so on a side note with travel, coming up in September, I have to go to a wedding in Chicago. But wedding is the week before Battle on the Bricks. And I still have some internal discussions with the boss that we have to make this work because I tell her we're going to a 6 hour sports car race. She's going to flip her lid. But you know what? The children need to see the Motor Speedway. One, they need to understand the greatness of the facility. And two, I want to see the museum. And I think they want to see the
I
museum too.
I don't know if I will make it during the race weekend, just because there's so much stuff going on there. But when I'm back down in Indiana in June, I've already told my wife that it is a
But
must stop.
I
We
thought
are
you were going to
going.
the race.
I am. I'll probably get down there later on Friday, and with everything going on Saturday with Legends Day, it may be hard to get
I
to
probably
on
would get it.
Sunday. I don't know what it's going to look like.
Fair.
It'll be open, and we're in the chute right across the track from it, but there's going to be so many people there.
The interesting thing about the Battle on the Bricks is that single day tickets are not awful. Um, and most of them are general admission. There's only a handful of reserved seating in like a special paddock area. And
You got to see,
try.
have like a 8 hour emergency meeting. Something came up. Your boss knew you were in
Well,
Indiana, the area.
well, the thing is, it's the question is, when are we traveling for the meeting and or meeting for the wedding, and where are we flying into? And my wife ideally probably wants to just kind of fly in, take a couple days in Chicago, and get out of there. And in my case, I want to fly in Indianapolis on Saturday before, go to Battle on the Bricks on Sunday, do the family visit, and then we'll swing by Purdue on the way up to Chicago. That way I can see, take the kids to Purdue because
See, that makes sense. You got to take your kids to Purdue.
yeah, of course they need to see, they need to see it,
They
and then
watch Purdue play, so
that's right. They went to the
they
Final
got to see the
Four.
campus.
They went to the Final Four. They should, they need to see the campus. They need to see
And
the
you can't be
game.
that close and not see family. So it makes
Right,
sense
right.
logically to go
Yeah.
into it.
So yeah, so we go into Indianapolis, we do the Battle on the Bricks, we go visit family, swing by Purdue on the way up to Chicago. We spend a few days in Chicago. We hit up Wrigley Field on Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday, probably Thursday. So I'm gonna yeah. So this trip, if this works out, and it may not, but this trip works out, you're gonna take the kids to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You're gonna take them to the Purdue campus, and you're gonna take them to Wrigley Field all in 1 week.
Be three of the most iconic places in the
I
country.
right, exactly. And I know because my wife loves. I think the only thing she loves less than auto racing is baseball, but
It's Wrigley.
it's Wrigley. Like one, I haven't been to
Everybody
Wrigley
likes it,
since
but
the last time I went to Wrigley was 2018. I was in Chicago for a trade show, and I met
it's
up with
been
a
within
friend
the
of.
last 5 years. Might have been, well, actually, might have been 19. No, I don't remember.
So I went back to back days to Wrigley. I had the first day I went with a friend of mine, and we went to the game and got to see the World Series trophy, or got up close to the World Series trophy,
Did
and
you see
then
it in like the little,
display room.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And you got the picture with the display case.
yep,
And
got that.
then so I went to the game. And then the next day, a vendor at the trade show is at renting out a rooftop. And they're like, "Would you like to come to Wrigley and go to a rooftop afterwards?" I'm like, "Would
Yes.
I? Would I?" And so like my coworkers and I, we all get on and we go up to the it was the one just outside of right field, just past the south of the foul pole. So, he had this great view. And then there was a bench clearing. It wasn't quite a brawl, but it was a bench clear, which I had never experienced a bench clear in my going to baseball games all those years. So
Got
that
to see one
was
of those at a AAA Cubs and the Sky Sox at the
see
time.
that was probably pretty vicious. Were there punches thrown?
There was some pushing and shoving, but it was pretty mellow.
It, there was it was just a hard slide on the catcher, and I think it was Wellington Castillo was the catcher for the Cubs at that point. And he didn't care for it. The Marlins player was in his face. Bench is cleared. And Starlin Castro played for the Marlins at the time. He was a former Cub. And still, friends with several of the players on the team at that time. And so there's this fight, everybody's in everybody's face, and then Chris Bryant starts tickling Starlin Castro in the middle of this bench clearing. If you searched it, you searched like Chris Bryant tickling Starlin Castro, and you can see him like reach across. He has this like grin on his face as he's like reaching across to tickle him. So I've that was the first time I think maybe the first time in Major League history there was a first and only time for a tickle fight.
Um, Sometimes baseball is just funny. It's such a long
It
season.
it is, and just
You got to
stupid.
find humor in it
And,
at
and the thing
times.
is, like when it's your buddy, like that he's your teammate, you're still close with them. You're not going to get in a shoving match with them. And but yeah, it's
One of my favorites is still Rizzo pitching, and then he strikes out Freeman,
Freddie Freeman.
and then he's running down like Freddie, Freddie,
Oh, he was yelling Frederick. He was like Frederick. He's like chasing after him in a rundown. He's like Frederick.
and afterwards they're just laughing.
All right,
I love baseball.
so your ticket prices for Battle on the Bricks depends on how far in advance you purchase. So if you buy a Sunday general admission ticket, you're gonna pay anywhere from, well, it's too late now. But if I buy before June 19th, it's $50 for a
It's not
general
bad for a
admission.
6 hour
No,
race.
no, it's 6 hours. I'm pretty sure Gasoline Alley is open. Yeah, you don't need a special
Most of those
pass.
are usually just open.
Yeah, so it's like you can, I mean, you can't go in the pits, but still, like,
Now your accessibility through IMSA races is crazy.
yeah, and that's what I want to experience. I want to see that. I want to walk up and be like, "Hey, Jim Farley, CEO of Ford, how you doing?" Because there's a decent possibility that could happen. Like
Oh, very much.
these some of these company CEOs like attend these things. They love, especially at an iconic facility like that.
And especially if they're close to the wherever they are.
So, if you're thinking about going, I promise I will confirm this as soon as I can, whether I'm coming or not. And we'll have a meetup. We have to have a meetup. If you're in the Midwest, if you're going to it, I know there's a few people that have been to it before that we know. So we'll make sure that we do a meetup. We get a picture. We say hi, hey, how you doing? We met in person finally, and um, like I said, obviously I've known you for a long time, but I met Eli, our former announcer, and I met Mark Vickers finally in person. So, and that's it. Like that is the only people I have met in person through this whole sim racing community. So we got
Yeah,
to
I
get that
got to
number up
meet
more.
Hunter Hughes so far,
You
NASCAR
did.
race a couple of years ago. Then Dirk Booker at the Indy Road race last year.
You met Derek?
Yep. It's funny. I saw one of his pictures on Discord and like, wait a second. You're
You
sitting like right by me.
turn around, Derek. Just
And then
start
we
like
figured out where he was and he came over, watched last like 20 laps or so.
the one time I was I went to so my wife went to Michigan State and Purdue played Michigan State. We went over to East Lansing for the game. And a guy I know from school was there and he's walking like the game's over. We're waiting in line for like the shuttle bus back to the remote lot. And he goes walking by me and I'm like, "Wait, I know that guy." And so I just start yelling his name and he just stops and he turns around like what the like who is shouting my name in East Lansing, Michigan right now? And he turns around and he sees me and he's like, "Hey, oh!"
Oh, East Lansing.
See, and don't tempt me. I will do that. I will embarrass you. I will shout your name in public. Oh man. Anyway, so Battle of the Bricks. I will confirm as soon as I get myself. So I skipped the Indy race. We didn't even talk about that last week. Last week was my wife's birthday. It was mentioned on the broadcast. This time, this is worth the doghouse. Like, I don't get to Indy very often. I don't get to the track very often. There aren't any IMSA races near me other than, I mean, I could go out to Long Beach, I guess, but that would be a little tricky. But
Yeah, I'm going to be trading one iconic speedway for another one eventually.
yes, yes, you are.
I'll actually
So,
be closer to Daytona than I am Indianapolis.
Daytona. Yeah, I need to get to the Daytona 24, Rolex 24, 500. I got to get,
Now, once you're set up, you got a free place to stay.
it's half the problem. Just got to get to the airport, get across the country, and
See, and make the argument. You just got to fly there. You
yeah,
don't need
I just
anything
like,
after
hey,
that.
I'm leaving this weekend. I'll see you on Monday, hopefully, if it doesn't rain out.
I've been giving my wife a hard time. She's gone on a couple trips, and she says I travel all the time because I do with swimming and all that.
Hey, you know what? That's your
I'm
job.
like, I need a. That's why I say it's
That's
my job. I
that's
can't
your
help it.
job. That is your job.
I
Business
say
trips
I,
do not count as leisure.
except when I'm in Florida coaching for like 4 hours and 20 hours just to hang out.
I mean, it's still work. You're still
I,
there for
I'm
work.
in. I'm responsible for people. Like, I
And
need a guys trip. I'm gonna get a hold of DJ. What race are we going to? Guys weekend.
but yeah, that's my plan. Is I want to get to the battle on the bricks. I get my kids to the music, to the 500 because of my
Got to go at
family.
least once.
Yeah,
If you're kind of a casual race fan or you haven't been able to make it yet, if there's one race that you just go to one time, even if you're not a big fan of IndyCar racing, go to the 500. Is it's not just a
you have
race,
to.
the tradition, the kind of pomp and
And
circumstance that surrounds it.
we also didn't
It's so fun.
we also didn't talk about this that the Grand Marshal
Of the snake pit.
of the Snake Pit will be none other than Gronk.
Yeah, Gronk.
Gronk, because is there really anybody out there more qualified to be the Grand Marshal of the Snake Pit than Rob Gronkowski?
I'm sure there probably could be, but they're not going to be better.
No, no. Like
They could be as
this
good
is per,
as.
and this is like IndyCar, and we're gonna get to this in a second. But IndyCar focuses all their energy on making the 500 a great product, and they should. It's their flagship, world famous marquee race. However, the ratings came out for Long Beach. They were better than last year, but they weren't good.
It's at least an improvement,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
it's,
it's kind of a bland race. We talked about that previously.
yep.
Uh, but today, IndyCar
Yeah, we're
had their
recording Wednesday, so there's another test tomorrow, and this is airing after all that.
yes, this is all over. Like look, we're not fooling anybody at this point.
No.
We
Maybe a
record this
first
on
time listener, they were gaining new
yes, we
followers every
record
week.
this on Wednesday night. We publish it Friday morning. Um, IndyCar had their test session today, and it got started a good what 2.5 hours late.
Yeah, it's
Some
about 2.5 hours, I think. I
uh,
didn't catch exactly when it started.
and I didn't either. I turned it off because I didn't want to watch a live screen of people walking around the pits and nothing happening. Um, but they had a internet connection problem with the pits,
Yep.
and they
They didn't
called
know to
it
get the info from the cars
yeah.
or
So they called
whatever.
it a safety issue officially, and it's like I mean I get it. Okay, sure. Like you could argue it's a safety issue if there's a something happening, you see a tire going down, temp gets too hot. You tell your driver, they get it off the track, you get it out of the way, you prevent an incident. Sure, I get it. Right. But it's back to that last week, that whole over reliance on analytics that we couldn't run the test for 2.5 hours and had to get egg on our faces. Not we, like I did nothing to do with it. They got egg on their faces for 2.5 hours because they couldn't see their telemetry in the pits.
And to be fair, the telemetry and the data is important,
Sure.
but I brought it up and then I sent you something that I saw in the chat on YouTube because that's where it was airing. And it's like, why can't you just run? What did they do before internet?
I
Like
mean,
it's almost negating the drivers if they go out, feel something in the car or something seems off, they come in, you tell your crew, you diagnose the problem, and you go out and try it again.
you have to assume though, with the advanced level of data, that's probably saved somebody's life.
Oh, it
I
had
yeah,
law of
like
large numbers.
and
It's
and 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 obviously, we don't want anybody dying. We don't want something happening where you have a crash and debris goes in and kills the crowd. So obviously, it is a safety concern, but it's still really frustrating that
is it really any different than if you go to a baseball game?
not anymore. No.
You can assume there is a foul ball that's going to come into the stands.
Yep. I mean, it's a little different of a line drive foul ball versus tire from an
Yeah,
IndyCar. It's a little bit different, but uh, there's actually something funny I saw recently where a guy back in like 1990 or early 90s wrote a letter to the Cincinnati Reds saying, "Hey, I'm a stats analytics guy. I want to work for you." And the Reds basically sent a response saying, "No team hires their own stats people. Like you could go work at Stats Inc., which they provided the stats to like ESPN and others for a very long time. They may still be around, but they basically like blew them off like stats people. And you look at it now and how Moneyball and everything else changed the sport. Now it's just like you have like team of staff, of stats people covering, looking at everything from the angle of your bat to the launch speed to, it's just
yeah, they're
everything.
tracking everything.
And it's hilarious how just, 35 years ago, it was just like stats people. We don't do that.
I
Ooh.
made a joke today. I think they still make stopwatches.
Oh, speaking of watches, I'm a bad, gotta still wearing my Apple Watch from earlier. Speaking of, over reliance on statistics, yeah, I like to keep an eye on my heart rate during the races, and it is kind of funny to look at, but there's no like benefit to it. But Nixon watches. Shout out to Nixon. Visit fracingonline.com/Nixon and sign up for their email list, and they'll send you a coupon. Save on your first watch purchase, but they have watches of
Wide range.
wide range of pricing from you catch it on sale and you get a watch for $30, or you can pay $1,500 if you really want to. I would never do such a thing because
And if you're a big fan of the Rolling Stones, they have that too.
they do. They have Nirvana watches. Like, uh, it's hilarious though with like Nirvana. How like I saw a kid at my kid's elementary school wearing a Nirvana t-shirt, and I'm like, you're like 8. You were born in like 2016, 2017. Kurt Cobain died in 1994. And you're walking around wearing Nirvana. Like, do you even know what Nirvana is? Like, can you name a song? I think we just showed our age here, but it's funny watching 8-year-olds walking around wearing Nirvana shirts.
It is fun.
But I mean, it's good. The band lives on. Their music was great. I have, all the albums are in my music rotation. So, uh, it's there are far worse bands that could live on than Nirvana.
It's one
Far,
of
far
those
worse.
bands that if there's a group that I could see performing in concert, it's their number one.
Oh yeah, I would have loved, yeah, that whole like Seattle grunge movement of the early '90s to see like Alice in Chains and Soundgarden. I mean, we've seen Pearl Jam.
Yep.
They're still rocking it. But to see like Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden with the original lineups, oh man, that would have been so good. But not gonna happen.
This year at Carb Day for the 500, it's what Brett Michaels and All American Rejects.
Wow, Brett Michaels.
I think I got that right.
I think you're right. I think I remember reading that and it's like Brett Michaels.
Yeah, you would think they would have had these things tested and figured out, backup systems in
Yeah,
place.
because we got to get the youth involved in IndyCar. So let's bring in Brett Michaels.
Carb Day is kind of fun though with doing that.
I mean, they've had some pretty crazy acts at Carb Day over the years.
You would think they'd have something to not waste 2.5 hours of practice.
Brett Michaels is 62 years old. And I guess you probably figured this. Michaels is not actually his last name. His name is Brett Michael Sychak.
It's easier to say the little name.
Uh, oh, did you see he was on the Dale Jr. download this week?
Um, referring to Cletus or
No, no, that was
another thing. Dale
no,
Jr. and Cletus McFarland got
yeah,
together talking
that was
Talladega.
a lot of fun. I honestly, I'm again showing my age here. I'd never heard of Cletus before the ARCA race, and I was just like, this guy's pretty funny. So he'll be in the Talladega race coming up this weekend. But um, Dale Jr. had Rick Allen come on and kind of talked about his exit from NBC and just like basically said it just caught him off guard. It was just he goes, it was a sucker punch.
Rough.
But Rick Allen is his middle name. The clip that they had on their social media was he was talking about him auditioning when he was like 30 years old for a NASCAR, and they made him audition with Darrell Waltrip. And he comes in and he introduces, he's like, I'm 30 years old. I come in, I introduce myself to him, and I go, hi, DW, I'm Rick Schweiger. Because Schweiger is his name. He's like, Schweiger? There's no Schweigers in NASCAR. And so they do their like little test reel, and he goes, hello, I'm Rick Yarborough. And DW just like cracks up. And he's like, what? No, you can't just change your name like that. No. And he goes, me and DW goes, we just hit it off, really well and just had an absolute riot. But then they're like, you're too young, too green.
DW would be a fun person to
I, I,
sit down and talk to.
I plan on, I'm going to go listen to that one because I like a lot of people give him a lot of crap, Rick Allen, that is. And I like him. I think he's a good announcer. I think some of the, we'll say, guidance he was given from NBC to talk about was pretty bad. But him as an announcer, and if you remember him when he was doing his truck racing, or the announcer for the truck series back in 2014, 2015-ish on Speed, he was really good. Um, it's like he didn't forget how to announce. Yeah, Dale Jr. called the episode "The Voice NBC Let Go."
It's perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, I gotta figure out some of these broadcasting things. Fox keeps drawing ire. They're not bringing in ratings for IndyCar.
speaking of like it's kind of a tough situation because one, TV is it's such a different thing than it was 30 years ago. Like people are cutting cords and they're just using streaming and uh, you know, we talked about this earlier this week. Apparently Formula 1 is working on a new TV deal in the US and they're leaving ESPN and they're not
Nobody
get
wants
no
to
nobody wants it.
fight.
I mean, Apple has made a push, but it sounds like Apple's number is way under what they were expecting.
Yeah, basically everybody's like, yeah, no, too expensive for us.
Yeah, it just the problem is and this is a fair criticism of it is that the Netflix crowd, the Drive to Survive, the social media engagement does not match the television ratings because you've got people that's how they get their information. And you have time zone issues because I mean there's races that start at like 5 a.m. my time. I have no interest in waking up at 5 a.m. on a Sunday to watch a race that probably will
Then you
have a
get the what, 3 races a year that I'm staying up till 1 or 2 o'clock
yeah, you're staying up till 2 in the morning to
to just
watch.
watch.
Yeah.
And that's the start time.
Yeah. You're starting at 2 a.m. to catch like Australia, Japan. The Vegas race it runs late, even though it's in the US. And it's just the rating. I mean, they're outdrawing IndyCar, but their ratings are not great either. Like NASCAR is still generally outdrawing Formula One. And part of it is the time zone. Part of it is like, most of the races are on ESPN. You have cord cutters. How are they going to watch it? Um,
Yep.
and it,
And
and
NASCAR, you're running prime time Sunday, and they start after church.
and I watch F1 TV because I like watching all the lead up to the race weekend. That's not televised. And so if I'm watching on F1 TV, I'm not watching it on ESPN. I'm not going to watch it on Apple TV Plus. Why would I? One, and two, if I'm not watching it on Apple TV Plus, why would they pay top dollar if I'm going to watch it on F1 TV?
Mhm. It'll be interesting to see what ends up happening. Hopefully, we don't get just
Wait,
completely blacked out here.
well, I mean, I still have F1 TV, so I think that's
It may
my
end up being the route you have to
yeah.
take.
You might have to suck it up and pay the $80 for F1 TV, which is not a terrible price. $80 for 24 races, or what are they at now?
26 this year?
26 this year. I mean,
That's not bad.
you're paying three and change a race, and then you got the F2, you got the F1 Academy, you got all the other special shows, you've got all the practices, the qualification, the sprints. I mean, there's a lot of content for $80 a year. I mean, I mean, I'm promoting and we're partners with them. The link,
Yeah,
the
you get a
affiliate
ton
link.
of information and just stuff to watch. You're going to fill up your Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, depending on the structure of the weekend.
Yeah, and I mean, I like. Would I normally watch FP1 of Formula One? No, probably not. But I do because usually it's late or early,
If they
and
run the practice sessions on ESPN, I usually tune in
yeah,
if I'm available.
yeah,
It's fun to kind of see what cars are doing what.
and the commentary is a little spicy at times, and oh man, I still swear Martin Brundle dropped an F bomb on the broadcast last weekend.
I'd have to go back and
Well, I mean, I don't think it made it to
listen.
ESPN, but I'm pretty sure on F1 TV he was talking about Verstappen's penalty, and he said something about, "Oh, it's an effing penalty." I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
So, what was your take on that? Max Verstappen got a 5-second penalty
Hmm.
for gaining an advantage.
It's I don't know. I see the argument both ways.
Then stewards are like, well, it should have been 10 second, but because it was lap one, we actually reduced it to 5.
That whole initial turn one in Saudi Arabia, I'm surprised there aren't more incidents at in the run up. I mean, we did lose Yuki and Pierre Gasly on lap one, like right after that, but
I
I'm
feel you kind of understeered and took out Gasly.
I mean, you saw how many people ended up cutting across that over that weekend. It was quite a few.
The Yeah, letter of the law, sure. Verstappen should have maybe gotten a penalty. You see the Red Bull stuff, yeah, and I like Verstappen, but I also like to see the racing. My bigger contention is so Piastri maybe got to the apex just slightly ahead. Uh, but under the
Uh,
rule, you're supposed to, whoever's ahead at the apex gets the racing line.
yep.
At that point, what is Max supposed to do?
I mean,
Like,
it was either cause a wreck or do what he did.
so that's where,
I, I, I think the funniest part about that is Christian Horner showing up with a printed screenshot from the broadcast. He's like, "This is my proof that Max is ahead," and I'm like, how can you tell that? Like, the camera's
but
not straight on.
I may catch flack for it, but you know, it should be Piastri maybe slightly ahead, but it should be, you have a car at that point to your outside. You should be able to keep both cars in, not just, well, I was ahead, so I get to run out to the racing line that a single file car would take. Is you also have a right-hander coming right up. And I watched later in the race, Ollie Bierman and Jack Doohan go side by side through that same spot.
Holy Berman.
Like in NASCAR on the road tracks, you're not going to see that same thing. You're going to adjust your line so you stay side by side, and whoever comes out ahead of that next turn is a drag race, or you race side by side into the next turn and try to outmaneuver and outbrake.
Let's see here. Let's look at the
So that's one thing I'd like to see different. Is if Verstappen just backs out, he's probably still running wide, and then he's putting himself to be overtaken into the next turn and possibly causing a wreck there.
we had double points for Williams this weekend.
He did.
And we got Miami coming up here in a couple of weeks, but we got Talladega this weekend.
We're gonna watch two stages of 50% throttle and then one stage of racing.
One stage of racing and just
Are we gonna see him go four wide for like 10 laps again?
that right there. Like these plate races give me such anxiety watching them. When they do that four wide thing like they did last year with the and went, yeah, it was like what, 10 laps probably.
It was a good few laps.
Four wide in a pack, like this was like perfect formation, and it's just like one tiny mistake by any of those 30 plus cars, and you have a total disaster on your hands. But it
I
didn't
think when
happen.
they were doing it too, they're almost in a stage of like anti-competitiveness and they're just cruising.
It was just, yeah, it was just a Sunday
They're
Sunday
still
drive.
cruising at like 170, 180 miles an hour, but when you know there's nobody around you that's really gonna be trying anything, one, you can't.
The what the my one of my new favorite things to do is watch these people from Europe and Australia react to watching NASCAR. And like I've never watched NASCAR before. My ears, there's some pretty gnarly moments. And they'll watch like crashes and they'll see like, oh, there goes Clint Boyer's car on the roof sliding across the start finish line. You see, and they're watching these crashes, which like 90% of them are Daytona or Talladega, and they're just watching these crashes over the years, and they're just like, that guy's going 190 miles an hour when they did that. Like,
Yep.
yeah, and it's just like it's funny because like between things like that and the Garage 56, which they're gonna have their own little documentary on Amazon Prime, which is pretty cool. I will be checking that out. I still have to finish First to the Finish. I have not. I'm bad. I haven't done that yet.
Busy enough, I still unfortunately have to start it.
Yeah, I've only gotten through the first two episodes. I need to finish the other. I think there's six in this series, but yeah, I suck. I'll finish it this weekend. I promise. Well, maybe not finish it. I will try to finish it this weekend, Heather. I promise. I will finish it. Um, but it's with Garage 56 and just the attention it grabbed at Le Mans and just kind of the hilarious response of it, like, catching these GTP cars and being so loud that it keeps everybody awake at night. It's just like, you're kind of dozing off, and all of a sudden you hear the big loud American car roaring by every seven
That's so
minutes.
awesome. They fielded that car.
And it's just like it's like finally like
It
NASCAR
stands
is,
out like a sore thumb.
yeah, oh yeah. That picture where they have all the cars and you just got this giant vehicle. But it's just like NASCAR is finally getting the respect it deserves from some people in Europe and Australia who are like, left turns and ovals isn't difficult.
Yeah, so much of that kind of F1 elitist.
Well, and they showed some of these finishes where you have these like photo finishes, and you're like, wow, we never get that in F1. Like,
No, you're
no.
lucky if you see the second place car on the same straightaway. I did see something earlier today. There's question marks coming up about the new power units for next year.
For F1.
F1.
Oh yeah, where there's certain situations where F2 could be faster than F1.
And I've seen it in a couple spots now that they maybe could consider the return of the V10s.
Uh,
I think they need to do something though to get some more competitiveness in those races.
I would love to see that, like, just once see like a photo finish. When was the last time they had a photo finish in F1? Or
Jeez, I can't even remember. Maybe the Ferraris at Indianapolis.
oh, that was rigged.
Yeah,
That wasn't
exactly.
that was rigged. That wasn't a photo finish. Formula One photo finishes. Let's see. I mean, we're coming up here. We're like a month away.
I need to see
Uh,
something
all right.
with the
Okay.
cars get
Let
more
me
power and
let
overtakes.
me amend my statement. Photo finishes for the win in F1. I searched it, and there was that whole Alonso versus Sergio Perez at Brazil in 2023, but they were like, what were they battling for, like third or something like that?
I'm sure there's been close finishes back in the pack, but especially when you have the group of 4 or 5 cars in that DRS train.
Oh man, it's frustrating. Like, I like analytics. I use analytics a lot, but it's just so frustrating. We'll see some actual racing.
And at a certain point, you got to get back to the root of it, and that's just go out and race.
It's like it is kind of wild to think about, like arguing for just some little thing for multiple laps, and they're like, this doesn't feel, the driver's like, this doesn't feel right, and like, well, the telemetry says it's fine.
Yeah, driver, something's off in the car. The computer says you're good.
Yeah, computer says you're good, keep going.
So is the driver wrong?
Or that there was the issue with Lando Norris a while back, where he's like, this pedal is like, the brake pedal is like going closer to, further every time I push it, and I'm like, I don't see anything wrong with it.
You're not the one in the car feeling it.
Uh, anyway.
Hopefully something gets figured out.
So we got Talladega coming up this weekend, and hopefully we went an hour and 45 minutes last week. That was absurd. Promise not. Well, try not to do that again. I'm not promising it.
Yeah,
Try not.
Talladega's coming up. It's Formula One racing.
No, they're off till Miami, May 4th, I think that is. So you got Formula One. Indy, you'll be doing some testing. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
we
right.
got
They race
NAS.
Miami, then they have an extra week off.
Is there anything between? Is it one of the Italy races between Monaco
Yes.
and
We get Miami on the 4th, go to Italy on the 18th, and then Monaco. We
Monaco?
go to Imola.
Which might be the last time they go to Imola for a while.
And IndyCar, the testing, but then it's still another 2 weeks until a race.
And then we go to Barber.
I get Barber,
I mean,
and
it picks
then
up after that. Finally,
Indy
there's
Road
just like,
Race, and then 2 weeks until the 500, which I will be at. Let me know if you're going to be there. I'm sitting in the chute between 1 and 2 again.
I will be sitting probably right here watching the 500.
It's nice. I have a TV right in front of the stands, so I can watch everything that's going on track. And between 1 and 2, seems like there's a lot of action that happens.
Or stupidity.
That too.
It's just, I think the craziest part of the 500 is you've got three wide, 11 rows. It goes green, and you got to funnel all those people through turn one. And when they,
Every year, I feel like I just hold my breath.
yeah, right.
'Cause I'm in the chute, so I see the exit of one, and
And
it's
you're
like,
just, and you see, and when they do it, it's like, it's beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful. But there's been so many moments over
I think of the
history.
years that I've sat in that location, I've only seen one lap one caution, and that was last year with the Bloomquist spin.
Cost him his job.
Yeah, that was the race we saw him.
Oh man, so we got Talladega, so we got an ARCA race probably Friday, I think.
And also, NASCAR returned to the Rock
Yeah. Oh yeah,
this past
yeah.
weekend. Trucks on Friday and Xfinity on Saturday.
I
You know,
love how,
Xfinity actually drew over 1 million viewers.
yeah, and they sold out the place. They did take down quite a few of the from what they've scanned in iRacing, like all the turn one, turn two seats, those are all gone. Like I think that facility only seats like 35,000 now.
It'd still be fun to at least see a all-star race, or
Yeah, yeah. I just it's yeah.
you can race in North Carolina, so let's see the clash there.
All right, so the ARCA race is Saturday at 12:30 p.m. And of course ARCA is riding the Cletus momentum. I mean, they had a good when Cletus raced at Daytona, they had a really good television ratings for that. And it's like it is, is it a little gimmicky? Maybe. I mean, I admit I don't know a ton about the guy, but it is ARCA. There are far less qualified people in those seats, I'm sure. I mean, it's just ARCA. It's not like, they're putting them in the Cup Series or Xfinity for that matter. But I kind of look forward to see how he handles Talladega. And he had some really good videos with Dale Jr. this week where Dale was kind of giving him his master class on Talladega. And I kind of I watched. There's some good info in there, and they talked about like he's like this is a hill, and you see this is the downhill. He goes, you want to in your run up to take the green flag on your qualifying lap, you want to ride down this hill, and then when you get to turn three, you don't want to just go up the hill. You want to kind of cut up the hill, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's good info.
It'll be fun when we get the trucks going there here in a couple
I
weeks.
I went out there and I actually tried some of that advice. I mean, you can't with your run up into one, you coming out of the pits directly, you don't have that extra lap, so you don't get to do that. But still, I tried the turn three kind of slide up to the top and then just kind of let it roll me down the hill during my run up to green. And I was a full second faster than my qualification run the last time we took the trucks out there. And granted, weather conditions may have been a little different, but still like, and gotten a little bit better since then. A little bit.
Yeah, coming along. Everybody is.
Oh yeah, so real before we wrap here, Wednesday Night Dash return this week in the trucks.
Darlington, the Lady in Black.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking putting that week one, but
I thought it was pretty fun.
so
I
I
definitely earned my stripes tonight.
literally. Um, so we've well documented. I broke my foot. I did two Cincinnati dash races. One was Atlanta, which it's my break foot. But I've been sitting out of Indy, and this was my first time in a race since Texas, our season finale in Texas, and there was some rust. Yeah, there was some rust there for sure, and it's frustrating. It's like I need to go see like a sports psychologist or something because when I was practicing, the more I practiced, the worse I got.
I wonder if it could be just trying to push a little bit more to find that extra tenth or two, and especially at Darlington, you start to push and
It's so easy to
try
just
to go a little bit deeper into a turn, and now all of a sudden you're riding the wall and screeching tires.
done. But I'm a little shocked. We did a caution race. We only had one caution, and it was relatively early on, so it didn't play in my mind. It didn't play out the way I expected it to. I expected us to have multiple cautions. I expected a late caution. We didn't get it, and
Quite a few moments.
there were moments for sure, but people were low off the track, so it didn't bring out the caution.
We were talking before we hit record. Kind of think we might be in the like middle phase where we're not beginners making silly mistakes, taking cars out, but we're also not like full on elite level racers that you give up a hundredth of a second and you're getting passed by four cars and you're fighting for every position. We're racing solid. There's going to be some moments here and there, but we just got spread out a bit.
So I've Discord open on my other screen. I'm not gonna single this person out. But one of the people in our Discord, it has the activity, and if you're like playing a game or listening to music, one of the people listening to music right now is listening to S Club. S Club. Oh man. Wow, S Club 7. That's a throwback. So do you want to buy the Battle on the Bricks tickets now and then say I'm sorry, I'm a jerk, and then get yelled at, and then be like, well, at least we're going.
Oh, it was a little cheaper. Maybe say yes.
It's cheaper until June 19th.
So you got a month and a half to,
Yeah,
well, a little
soften the
shy of two
blow.
months.
I mean, it only goes up $5 if you miss that deadline. So it's like it's not the end of the world.
Maybe fish around and just kind of feel the water.
Oh,
Maybe that
I know how
is.
that's gonna go. But it's not gonna go.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood you.
Oh, I thought you said we were cool about that. Or the one of those we talked about it. Like when I was half asleep? Yeah, but we still talked about it.
Use the kids. Mom, can we go watch this race? We want to
Yeah.
see Rexy.
Yeah. Oh, good one. Oh,
There you go. Go see the
good.
dinosaur.
Yeah, good call.
Or maybe they'll be running Roxy at that race.
Oh, ooh.
Especially if they're running Roxy.
Oh man, if they're running Roxy, we're good.
The
I mean, we're
bright
not
pink car out
like
on track.
I'm not gonna make my kids say the whole 6 hours, but they need to experience this. I need to experience it.
Yeah, I don't know if you get the whole 6 hours in there,
No,
but
I'm not doing no. And odds with my luck, it'll probably end up raining again. Didn't it rain last year?
I don't
I
remember.
think it did. I think at least part of the session it rained.
Not like iRacing where it rains for 85% of the
Yeah,
special event.
yeah,
And not just sprinkles, but downpours.
yeah, just torrential downpour. Oh, I think that should about do it for tonight.
It's my next special event. I don't have to worry about rain.
Yeah,
This next one I run will be the 500.
yeah, I kind of want to do that myself. But we'll see.
I need to decide if I'm running fixed or open. Might be open. I like the setup just a touch more.
Where'd you get your open setup from?
I believe it was VRS.
CRS.
That's why I ran last year, and it was nice because you had a little bit better balance in the car, so you could keep it a little bit more open. The aero wash didn't affect you as
It,
much
it
as the
it's
fixed.
it's hilarious too, though. Like when you're used to running fixed, so many people like, and they run an open session, or, an open setup, and then they forget to switch from their qualifying over to the race setup, and then they're like, "You have 4 laps of fuel." You're starting the race. Somebody said that they like I put a sticky note on top of my monitor that says "change to race config." So I look, I'm like, "Oh,
It's happened to me before, and I go, "Whoops."
yep. Guess I'm starting from the pits today."
And nice thing is you can run the qualifying setup and be fine, but you have no fuel.
Yeah, with what they give you in the qualifying setup. When you do a 4 lap, you are really pushing it towards the end.
You're starting to turn that red light on as you go into turn three, turn three, turn four,
Almost,
somewhere in
I
there.
think when we did that 4 lap qual for the Indy racing, when was that? The spring,
The is the fall,
fall. That was fall. Yeah, right. Wow,
and we'll do that again this year.
it is the spring. Yeah. So when we did that 4 lap, I know like I coasted across the line for my 4 laps.
I think I manage a little bit on that outlap.
Yeah, just turned to 8 for the out lap. Should come up to speed then.
But yeah, we're going to be doing that again here in the next season of IRWS.
Come sign up. And we're very close to announcing. I mean, we've decided on the name, haven't we? Like, are we set on that?
Yeah, I think we're probably good 95% set on the name of the league.
Oh yeah, so we've got our development league, and it's not a dig at people, but um, it's focusing on developing racecraft because you can see as iRacing picked up popularity, the quality of racecraft decreased, which to be expected. So this is focusing on racecraft. This is focusing on developing your skill set. So it's like we know like you're gonna make stupid mistakes, but that's what this league is for. And so I went and asked my good pal Chat GPT, and I said, "Here's a couple of like names for leagues that we have right now. What do you think we should call our league that focuses on? It's an ARCA series. It's a developmental league for beginners or less experienced people who may not be as further along. And what do you come up with?" And it started off with some like Arca name, like, "Oh yeah, don't use Arca in the name. That's no, don't use Arca in the name." And then it spit out one, and I just burst out laughing, and I sent it to you, and I said, "Chat GPT says we should call our league the Bottom Split Racing Series."
And again,
No,
no
it's not a
means
dig. It's
is it
not.
a dig.
No,
It's
absolutely not.
just
I'll
meant
be
to be
running it.
funny
I will
and
be, yeah. It's
just
lighthearted. We're there to get
something that
better.
fits our mentality.
Yeah, it's lighthearted, but we're there to get better. It's kind of funny, but
And
yeah.
that's one, like, if you have a wreck, maybe like past series champion or somebody else, like, hey, how does this work? Or being able to get feedback and suggestions on how to avoid something like that in the future and
We're there. Like
just trying to help each other out.
we're keeping it simple. We're keeping it short. And it's going to be broadcasted probably on Monday nights is the plan. And the goal is, yeah, just let's use that time to get better. Whether you're,
And if you're
drive with us on
looking,
Wednesday.
you want to break into a league that you're like, "Ah, I'm not ready for one of these big time leagues. You don't want to commit to a 30 race season. And these are going to be short seasons. I think we're looking probably 8 races. You want to be able to watch yourself and see it on broadcast and show your friends, like, hey, look at what I'm doing.
I'm just starting, but you know what? Let's do it.
I'm racing in a league that's broadcast.
Yep. And if you make a stupid mistake, so be it. All of you will make stupid mistakes.
We
Happens.
all still do.
Yeah.
It's okay. It
I
happens.
mean, even really talented drivers make mistakes, and it happens. You're moving quickly.
We
The
were
margin of
just
error is,
joking a few days ago about a very bad mistake or a bad decision at last year's Talladega
yeah,
race.
with Michael McDowell. Yeah. They posted that video, and you see like the car on ice skates sliding around. All right,
It
but,
happens.
but yes, we're close to we've got some eligibility things we need to firm up still. But I mean, we generally have the race, the day, the concept of the schedule figured out. So we're like 90% there. We're going to target a probably late June, early July for the first race and do like an every other week thing until the fall for now. And we'll reassess and we'll figure out what we're going to do for 25, 26. Wow.
It is going too fast.
Yeah. 2025 is next year. Oh, shoot, we're almost halfway
No,
there.
we're third way through already.
All right. So as we wrap, are we gonna do another Malört or are we done?
I think I'll be good for right now.
Yeah, okay. I don't want to do another one. Yeah, one's enough.
I could do more. I just really don't feel like being drunk.
That too.
I can go drive right now, so like
Yeah,
I'm
well,
fine.
yeah, it's late. The other thing too, I was playing. So I have the Magic the Gathering app on my phone and my iPad. I was playing that last night. We need to like. Do you have it on your phone?
I have it on the computer.
Okay, I have it on the computer too. Like we need to do like a Magic the Gathering like live stream or something at some point.
And no cheating by watching the other
Yes, no, I
stream.
was cheating by watching the other live stream. Yes.
If you know what the other player has in their hand, it kind of defeats the game.
Yes, it's just like people live stream playing poker. It's like, oh,
It's an honor code. Don't do it.
yeah, don't do it. But hey, play some Magic the Gathering. Ignore the chat. Like, all right, he's got a 3/3 trample. I in the phone version of it, they have these where they give you like these pre-made decks, and you have to like battle through like it gets progressively harder as you go. And I did the red one, and it's like this like goblin. And it's one of those things. Yeah,
Goblins.
it's all just like these little goblins, and it's like, oh, if this goblin gets blocked, you get a 1/1 token, and then oh, by the way, you put this sorcery down, and you get 1/1 goblin tokens based on the number of goblins in your graveyard. And it's just like it's one of those things where like if you play it right, you're just gonna annoy the crap out of the person you're playing, but if you don't play it right, you're gonna be done in like 5 minutes.
They're in one of my friends' if we were in Colorado. We bought a box and just split it, and then we made like a limited deck out of 40 cards out of the cards that we drew. I had a, I think it was red. I forget what set it was, but it was a turn three deck if it worked. The first time it did it, he just looks at me and goes, "Did that just happen?" I go,
I,
"Yes,
I
it did."
I mean, I went on eBay and I bought a bunch of like vintage from like the 90s, early edition Magic the Gathering, like fourth
Probably have all of
edition,
them.
fifth edition. Yeah. I sold my set years ago and I regret doing that because I thought
I still have all of mine.
I sold I don't even I think I sold mine on eBay actually. I just like here's a shoebox full of like 1,000 Magic the Gathering cards. And I really regret doing that. But I've been going through and buying like vintage cards on eBay and I've actually like how many cards do you think you have now? Is it pushing
Um,
5,000?
oh, easy.
Easy? Yeah, I think I've recovered about 2,000 cards. There's some new stuff in there. There's a lot of older stuff.
I have a plastic bin that is more or less full that's like that wide, that tall.
I remember for the longest time, the only cards that I had were the ones you gave me when I got married. Remember that?
Yeah, that was your wedding gift.
Yeah, you gave me,
Oh,
and
wow.
then he gave me a, yeah. And we're opening this, and I'm laughing as I'm looking through this, and my wife's like, what is that?" I'm like, don't
What was it?
ask.
A Stormtide Leviathan I got
Yeah, you
you?
got the 10/10 Leviathan that you have
That
to like.
is completely useless, but
It
I
is.
remember you liked that card.
Yeah, it was a great card. Yeah, I love the card, but yes, from a playing perspective, it was totally useless. But I have this app on my phone where you can use the camera and you take a you it scans the picture and then you just pick the version because some of these cards are in like multiple versions and you just pick the version that you have And and so then it like documents it and it tells you like how much is your collection worth. And so I did that. I actually like I have, let me see what my total is. Let's see if we get some stats up here. So the most expensive card I own is worth $21.60.
Which one's that?
It's Toxrill the Corrosive from Innistrad Crimson Vow. Well, it's a newer set.
Yeah,
But
it's
I
new.
but I also have a limited edition beta War Mammoth that's worth $9.01.
Nice.
And then Lord of the Pit, I have a Spirit of the Night. Remember Spirit of the Night from Mirage? But let's
I
see.
should go through. You need to tell me what that app is, and I'll start going through. It's going to take me a while, though.
Yeah, it's
I can start with all my mythics and
I don't know if
rares.
it's I don't know if it's iPhone only, but I'll send you the info. So my count right now is I have 2,245 cards. 1,511 of them are unique, and my estimated value of my collection is $320.38.
Too bad.
No. So I have
You could sell
21,
your collection and buy a third of a Black Lotus.
yeah, 21% are the black, 20% are blue, 19% are the red mountain, 18% are the forest, and 15% are the plains. I have 1,162 creatures and 351 lands. But yeah, it's like it's just it's one of those things that it's just like I really regret because it was one of those you get to high school and you're just like I'm this is
I actually got to playing competitive and playing in tournaments. And the one, it was hard doing the tournaments with the just decks on its own because people had sink tons and tons of money into it. And in Colorado, I actually found a lot of army guys that played. So they had money to burn and they just bought the top end cards. So those were kind of tough to get around. But I really like playing draft format. You get three packs, you open it
oh
up, you
yeah,
take which one you want,
everybody's
you pass the
yeah.
pack around, and
That's kind
actually
of cool.
won one tournament that way.
So I'm still trying to like catch up and like understand because there's been a lot of variance in how the game is played now
Yeah,
versus when we played.
there's a lot of stuff, and some of it's set dependent too.
And you know, they've like the commander decks, and I'm just like, what the heck is this? Like, just let me have my deck and play my 20 lives and let's go.
Yeah, Commander, you get 100 cards. They have to all be unique except for the basic lands, and you have one legendary creature that is it. You have to stay in that color. Commander is actually a lot of fun. You can do some really crazy, unique things in that.
My Ice Age giant trapdoor spider from my
Yes, that was gold too, wasn't it?
it was a gold, yeah.
What, green, white?
Green red.
Oh, that's right.
And
Shoot.
here's from Tempest, the segmented worm. It's is a green red as well.
I don't think I have that one.
I
Sad thing is, I actually remember most every card I have.
You know it really bums me out because like I had like we got involved when what was it around
Fifth
Mirage?
edition.
Yeah, it was like fifth edition Mirage, Tempest, Weatherlight, and it's just wow, this again spilled way out of control. Garage Talk, Magic the Gathering, you know.
It happens.
And that you know what else I caught myself doing this week? I was like, hey, I wonder what the world of Dungeons and Dragons looks like now.
I wish I had more people that played because I would do that more.
I had a again, I was like, I'm too cool for this, and I had a like a Dungeons and Dragons kit and I got rid of it all. And I'm just like, I wonder, and it's changed again, it's changed a lot in 20 years too.
And it depends how you want to play too. If you're
Yeah.
friends,
That was it. Yeah, we started with Magic, then we were playing Dungeons and Dragons, and then it's just like, okay, I'm done with this. And then I'm like,
no. Last time I was able to actually play D&D, we were playing and taking shots of peppermint schnapps.
see, I have not played Dungeons and Dragons since probably middle school.
So by the time that night was over, I was bombed.
Is there a way to play Dungeons and Dragons like in an online format?
I'm sure there is if you just get in chat and Discord, but it's more fun in person.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but you know, logistically, like.
as you have visuals that you have to be looking at, and sure, somebody wanted to stream it and set it.
Could you imagine that? Like you get into like Discord and do like a video chat of the group and play Dungeons and Dragons over that has to happen. Like
Oh, I'm sure it does.
let's look at Twitch right now. Let's see who's playing Dungeons and Dragons on Twitch. Dungeons and Dragons Online
I'm
is
sure
actually
there's a way.
it's actually an online game. Dungeons and Dragons Online. I'm regretting look that I looked that up because now I'm gonna be going down that. Yeah, there's a guy. These three guys are playing Dungeons and Dragons live right now on Twitch.
So we'll have to figure that one out.
Oh man. Well, let's step it back. We need to play some Magic the Gathering online first. Figure that out either on the PC or the phone or something. Like we need to get into a regular habit of that.
Or get the webcam set up to see the playing field and
Oh, could you imagine that? Like you
have
have like
live
a
cards,
yeah, you play Magic the Gathering and you have like camera on the field. Oh
the
man.
overhead cam.
That would be pretty wild. Portable. Let me see.
In the locker right behind me, I have my top Magic decks, the commanders
I
and the at least standard at the time,
see.
60 cards.
See, it's like we'd go to Kokomo Comics as kids, and I'd come away with a little bit here and there because I didn't. My
I like the
parent.
10-cent box. You can spend $3 and get 30 cards.
Yeah, that was great. That's where I
Little
like
did we
build
know
up.
at the time those cards were absolute junk and about penny cards, but it worked for us.
I mean, that's it was what it was. We,
There's what, 30 cards for $1.
I mean, it helped build up the collection. That was the
Still
yeah.
wish I knew at the time I would have bought the Black Lotus for $100.
Was it the original like what was it a beta or alpha that Black Lotus?
Yeah, it was one of the first ones that would have gone for over 1,000 now.
Yeah, there is a like there are a handful of people right like live right this very minute playing Dungeons and Dragons together. Like there's video games, but there's actually people that are there with like paper pencil.
I think we'd figure it out.
We got to do that.
See who else wants to
See,
play and
it's
hop
hilarious.
everybody in Zoom and
It's hilarious. Or we can just do it in Discord and just share the Discord screen. But the thing is, like, it's like, oh, Dungeons, you get shamed on in middle school playing Magic the Gathering and
you're
Dungeons and
such a
Dragons.
nerd.
Yeah, what a nerd. And you're like, you got that whole teenage, like, confidence issue. Like, am I really that lame? Yeah, I guess I am. And then you get to be an adult and you're just like, am I that lame? Yeah, whatever.
You know what? It's fun. I'm doing it.
I don't cares. Like, I'm not getting rid of my collection. Yeah, I need to like pull out my rebuilt collection, figure this out here. But yeah, I've been just going through it, just buying like these people, they sell like you get like 50 cards for like $10 or whatever, and there's like one rare mixed in there, usually.
One of my decks actually had a infinite combo that I could stop when I wanted to gain as much life as I felt like.
All right, like we gotta stop, or else we're gonna have another hour and 45 minute show. Magic the
We
Gathering,
can
Dungeons and
continue chat
Dragons.
when we
Stopping.
stop recording.
So again, happy birthday to Eric, crossing
Thank you.
over the hill.
Yeah, I
Don't
got
worry.
a really nice birthday gift too.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you'll get to berate me here in a couple of weeks when I cross over the hill. There's got to be a way to play the on the phone with a person. We'll figure it out later. Anyway, Magic the Gathering.
I think that's a first for this show.
We've mentioned Magic before, not to that level of
Not to
detail,
this
though.
level.
Not to that level of detail. And Dungeons and Dragons has never been mentioned
That's
before.
definitely a first.
I do you still have like your Dungeons and Dragons like dice or anything like that? You've got to be. Ah, that's fantastic. Okay, so is any of that left over from middle school, or is that all stuff you purchased in like recent years?
Um, it's Probably all since I started playing Magic after moving to Colorado. I don't know where my original dice set is,
I'm gonna have
but
to buy.
everything else is new.
All right, I'm buying a Dungeons and Dragons dice set.
You can get like 5 sets of them for $10 on Amazon.
Yeah, I know. And they have like bags and stuff they come in it.
I've been
40.
really tempted to do it just to get more for no reason.
All right.
All the 20-sided dice I have are basically that's how many boxes and pre-releases of Magic I've played.
Remember the 100-sided dice, which looks like a golf ball?
Yeah, I never got one.
I had one. I don't know what happened to it.
That's another one I've actually looked up because I want one.
Yeah, it looks like a golf. It looks like a plastic golf ball, and it has like little tiny divots with the numbers in it. Free delivery tomorrow. I don't need 6 sets. Come on, be
It's
reasonable
the
here.
same price as one set, might as well.
Or I could get 5 sets for $10.
That's really best deal. You can buy one set for 8 or 5 sets for 10.
There's like a case for the dice that you can buy. Like this is absurd. I don't need that. Oh man. D&D Essentials Kit.
I have well, several of the main books with me. They're somewhere around.
The D&D Essentials Kit. Ages 12 and up. And the dice are there, but it's just kind of boring. You know what? I'm just gonna do the Essentials Kit. And my wife's like gonna like she already thinks I'm lame, but we're gonna take it to an all new level.
Where is it?
All right, we need to wrap this.
Yeah, after we stop recording, I'll pull the box out. I have my books actually right behind me.
Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, I just bought the kit. Dang it. Amazon. All right. So thanks. This didn't get as wild as I thought. Actually, it was kind of lame. We ended up spending like 20
That's
minutes
what
talking.
happens when you turn 40.
Yeah, we turned 40. Yeah, like, yeah, we're gonna party and get hammered, and we do one shot of Malört and then talk Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering.
Welcome to getting older.
And the thing is, like, fine, you know
I
what?
could do more, but I have to work and
Yeah,
wake
so
up in the morning with my
so
son. So
so do I. But the thing is, like, look, you're 40, but we're still like talking about the same crap we talked about when we were 12. So,
much.
it's like, you know what? Part of being age is a number, but you keep that young mentality there, you're gonna feel better in the long run. So there's your worthy piece of advice for
I'm
today.
still a child.
Yeah, I mean, diecast cards. Oh, speaking of diecast, ordered the giveaway. It's an autographed diecast. So go to frracingonline.com/mailing list, sign up for the mailing list. You will get first dibs on entry, and you'll get a bonus entry if you're on our mailing list. So um, sign up for that, and we'll announce that here in a couple of weeks once it shows up, and I'll unveil it on the broadcast on one of our episodes. So
And
stay
I
tuned for that.
passed on picking it up myself because I think it was the last one.
I waited.
So
I waited. I gave you first shot, and then you said, I'm not going to get it. I'm like, all right, that's our giveaway.
yeah, I'm just gonna sign up for it and try to win it.
You're not eligible.
I know.
All
I'm
right.
excited when we get to announce it.
Yep, that'll be fun. So the Dungeons and Dragons group on Twitch have been live for 6 hours.
Makes sense. Those games can go for a while.
That's awesome. Anyway, thanks for tuning in to this off-topic show. I'm very curious to see how long this one is.
Hour and 32 minutes.
Yeah, probably. But hey, it's not an hour and 45. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for tuning in. Take care.